Your hands together for Mr. Ashish Bhatia, the editor of Commercial Vehicle Magazine and Auto Components India. Ladies and gentlemen, give a huge round of applause for the entire panelists as Ashish Bhatia is exchanging pleasantries with all the panelists. And in the interest of time, Ashish ji, I will hand over the session straight away to you. Take it away. Yeah, please. People at the back, please come to the front and occupy the seats so that there will be no disturbance by the friends coming in late. Do me one favor, yeah, for a second. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all the panelists and warm welcome once again to Pravas 5.0. Very honored to lead this very distinguished panel that gives me an opportunity uh, to interact with the entire ecosystem. If you look at the panel and pan from left to right, you have the entire commercial vehicle ecosystem right in front of you. You have Tata Motors being represented by Mr. Rakesh Kumar. You have Mr. Rahul for Abibus. You have Mr. Ashok Agarwal representing Sun Mobility. Then you have Mr. Manoj Agarwala for Abibus, for Red Bus. And then then of course, Mr. Anthony. So warm welcome to all of you all. And the fact, I'm personally very, very delighted to have you all join me for this discussion. We've offline chatted on many occasions on what we can do to make the passenger experience more inclusive, comfortable for operators, commercially sustainable. And of course, at the end of it, you want to be part of a journey that's memorable but safe. So these are things that we are working with today. The panel, as you heard, is focusing on powering public transportation. What I want to hear from all of you all, beyond your individual success stories, how are you contributing cohesively as a complete CV ecosystem to make it passenger-centric, safe, sustainable, and definitely the operating economics in mind. You don't want to end up spending more than you perhaps can expect a return. So these are things that we will be touching upon. If I can start, we have about 40 minutes of time. So let's warm up everybody with a quick fire 1 minute response before we go to each of you all. The simple question is, where transportation by 2035? I'll give you all each a minute in your own ways, and then we try and work backwards on how we can get there. Please, starting with Mr. Rakesh Kumar.
So, when we are talking about 2035, let's see where we are and where next 5 years. First of all, let's talk 5 years down the line. Today, we are at, say, the number of buses per 1,000 population is 1.2 as compared to what it is in China. China में ये 1.7% है, हमारे यहाँ 1.2% है, और बहुत सारी देशों में ये 3 से 4 भी है. तो immediate future में with some operational intervention, we can see that number can actually multiply. Second very important point from passenger perspective. पैसेंजर को आज A to B डेस्टिनेशन नहीं जाना है जो पहले हुआ करता था. आज उनको कंफर्ट चाहिए, देन प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी चाहिए और डिग्निटी, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ये तीन चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द बेस रिक्वायरमेंट. ऑलरेडी इट्स अ बेस रिक्वायरमेंट. ये कोई बहुत हाई डिमांड नहीं है कस्टमर की तरफ से. So these are the things which we are going to witness going forward in by 2035, and we expect आज 4,000 बिलियन किलोमीटर पैसेंजर मूवमेंट हो रहा है. By 2030 we expect this movement will go to 7,000 billion kilometer passenger. So these are the few points.
Right. Please, you can pass on them. Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, I think you're audible. Yeah.
Uh, Thanks, Ashish. Thanks, everyone. Ashish, to begin with itself is a very big question, heavy question to ask
Right.
about next 10 years. But probably, uh, if past performance is any reflection of future returns, I would say let's look back last 5 years, right?
Right.
All these known faces that Abhibus works very closely with, we have seen ourselves during COVID. And now when we reflect upon last 5 years, there is a there is a recent report from Goldman Sachs called The Rise of Affluent India. That report says that the 6 lakh to 36 lakh per capita category in India is the fastest growing. The CAGR is 12% in last 5 years, right? So that itself has formed a base for the affluent India or the upper middle class India. Now these are the perfect target audience for bus category, because 6 lakh means about 50,000 rupees a month, up to 3 lakh rupees a month. These are the perfect audience that migrates from an RTC to a private bus operator. They're also the audience that searches flights on Exigo, finds it very expensive, and then says, let me try the new Volvo 9600 XLS or B8R or a Tata Motors bus, which is multi-axle and a great suspension. Now that rise of affluent India is, I think, a future promise for all of the bus industry that the future is secure. The last 5 years of 12% CAGR also ensured that this 6 lakh to 36 lakh per capita category went from 27% of the population to 56% of the population. So half of the India is right now so-called upper middle class and going to be affluent. So probably the short answer is by 2035, Ashish, the future looks very promising.
All right. On that optimistic note, sir.
Hello, is it working?
Yeah, audible. A little louder.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
working.
You can take his mic, in fact.
Yeah, so you asked 2035 vision for public transport, right?
Yes.
So my personal vision is that can I travel through public transport in 2035 willingly,
Right.
right? So when we think of Singapore, when we think of London, top executives, they move in public transport very comfortably
Right.
and they take a lot of pride in it. In India, the movement in public transport is, seen as meant for poor people, middle class people, and people who can really pay for, people who really want comfort. They want to avoid and use personal cars, right? And the traffic keeps going on and on and on. So the amount of public transport, I don't want to overemphasize, it has to grow. It is growing. But I think the kind of comfort, convenience, safety, predictability, which, common man is looking for. I mean, how many AC buses in percentage we are running today as compared to overall buses? Whereas in those countries, that's a norm. It's a very fundamental requirement that every bus has to be AC. Every ticket has to be booked online. The bus will come on time. It is very predictable. Drivers are trained on defense driving. Drivers are trained on safety, right? And the staff is managing very, a lot of courtesy training is given to them. So that's the vision where a person would willingly want to use public transport. So that's my personal vision. And we have seen significant improvement in that direction from bus operations, even train operations. I think things have definitely improved. Our railway stations are quite better as compared to historical trends. Buses are improving in terms of luxury, in terms of comfort. So, but I think that has to move at much faster pace. And apart from that, from Sun Mobility perspective, we would like to see public transport moving to green fuels. And that's what we aspire for, which will not only make the environment clean, the emission free, but also driving these new age green vehicles is also far more comfortable. We talk to a lot of drivers who used to run diesel buses and now they are running electric buses. I think they say that after 10 hours of driving, we still can play with our children because we don't feel tired. So that's the intervention of technology to improve the life of even drivers. That's a very significant part of overall service delivery from the perspective of public transport.
Right.
So that's an integral part of the overall service delivery mechanism. If drivers are happy, drivers are well trained, well behaved, obviously the experience for the consumers will improve. I also believe that automotive is moving more software driven.
Right.
So ADAS will be very common, which will be used by vehicles to improve safety, and not only safety but also driver fatigue. It will reduce. So even entire vehicle, new age vehicle architecture is software driven now, right? So whether we talk about movement from BS4 to BS6, BS7, whether we talk of electric buses or hydrogen fuel buses or hydrogen ice buses or ethanol buses, I think the experience is that the entire automotive industry is getting now software driven, which will give us more control on what we want, what we expect from the vehicle in terms of outcomes. And it will be very easy to, capture the data and build AI layers. So we'll be able to predict a lot of things which we are not able to do today, which eventually in terms of ultimate outcome, the making the public transport experience more, willing, more comfortable, convenient, safe, predictable. I think those are the outcomes people
Right.
expect.
Right.
And this
I
is
think
where we are heading.
you have an entire list of what we want to
Yeah.
discuss. So we will dissect all of that.
Sure.
Mr. Manoj, your view on what
Hello.
we can.
Yeah. So I think a lot of points have already been mentioned. So I will answer it in two parts. One is qualitatively and quantitatively.
Right.
So qualitatively, I think by 2035, when a person wants to go from point A to point B, I think he will think, or he or she will think public transport first before taking out his or her own vehicle. I think that's what I think and that's what I hope. Now, having said that, from a quantitative standpoint, if India has to grow, let's say at a 7 to 8% GDP for the next many years, mobility plays an important part. And mobility, if I can, rail and flights are struggling to grow beyond 1 or 2% year on year, whereas we see that road transportation is growing at almost 12 to 15%, and we have data to back it. So I feel quantitatively over the next 9 to 10 years, if I take 15% growth, annual growth, we would be anywhere 3 to 4 times of what we are today. And if we have to achieve that, so the opportunity is there. But can we do that? Yes, we can do that. But we have to come together as an industry, as an ecosystem. We have been talking about connected, inclusive, greener. I think everything has to fall in place. And forums like these do matter because we can have that vision. Otherwise, we get mired by day-to-day tasks that we do. So I think there is a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to those kind of growth over the next few years.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Quantitatively, it has already been spoken about. It could be
Right.
anything between 40%, 50, 60, 70% growth. But qualitatively, for sure, by 2035, we see a safer, more comfortable, and highly convenient to travel. Basically, we are talking of passenger experience.
Yes.
So passenger experience would be really elevated. Or in nutshell, if 2035, we again have Pravas in that Pravas 10.0 or 9.0, whatever it is.
10 times bigger than.
Yeah, in Gandhinagar, we all would have traveled, including from neighboring states, in a bus.
Right.
And that is something which can actually really change. where 20 to 25 cars can be replaced by one bus, and true passenger experience. And that is what, on the other hand, if the passenger experience improves, it will not take 9 years to double. It will take much lesser to double our overall business and overall passengers moving through the buses.
Right, right. Very nicely put there, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Ashish, and
Good
thank you
afternoon.
for the invite to be a part of this conference.
Right.
And good afternoon to my fellow operators and all brothers and sisters. My name is Noble Anthony. I suppose I am the only one representing in this panel as a user. It's all manufacturers and aggregators here. So thank you very much for the opportunity given here. Yes, as an user of a bus, of course, the vision for 2025, as everyone was very positive, even we are very positive as an operator. We definitely see the market is really increasing by 2025, as someone predicted it could be a rise of around 60 to 70% also. Yes, we do agree. But then we need to look at back from where we started and where are we today. And are we giving the right kind of experience that our passengers need? Looking back 2010, we were in probably Euro 1 level. And now in 2026, we are Euro 6. So in this 16 years, the transformation of the technology was very fast. Euro 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6, 6 again, OBD 1, 2. So there was a lot of advancement in the technology and we moved very fast. Probably, I'm not against any of the manufacturers for the matter, please. But then overall, the experience among our operators is very bad because the vehicles that we run gives a lot of complaints to us. There are frequent breakdowns. Of course, the infra has really increased. If you look back about 15 years back and today, as like even the Honorable Minister was saying yesterday in his speech, the infrastructure is growing at a very rapid pace and we've got very good roads, connectivity has increased. And hence, we operators also investing into this. Like previously, we remember it was only seating buses that were applying. So from seating non-AC buses, we have moved on to sleeper buses. We have got sleeper AC buses, and few of the operators also investing into EV buses. Now, as our discussion is on giving a good experience to the passengers, for a passenger to have a right experience, we need to give them the right kind of a vehicle. Many times what happens is at the dead of the night, you find the vehicle breaks down. He doesn't have any alternative. The operator is hands are tied because he has to rely on the manufacturer for any service assistance. The assistant reaches probably might be late. So we need to look at these aspects. My humble request to all the manufacturers on the panel will be to please look to that the service aspect is really increased so that a travel journey for a single passenger is as well free. Secondly, we need to concentrate on infra also to give an experience to the passenger to travel. Like yesterday it was discussed, we got around 25 lakh buses all over the country. And out of that, it's a very small percentage of 1.5 lakhs or around 4 lakhs that belongs to the government, which is used in the STUs. The 96% of buses applied by us as private operators. But then if you see the infrastructure, this 4% of the government buses that are applying, they have got all the infra. Whereas the private operators have got absolutely nothing or could be very minuscule. So this needs to be taken up with the government. We also are an equal part of the ecosystem. So they need to give us a proper infrastructure, proper parking facilities, proper pickup points. Like suppose a passenger is traveling from point A to point B. If you have traveled in the west and all, you might have seen how they have their infrastructure, their roads are developed. They have got passenger launches, they have got motels on the road, you can take rest, you got charging places over there. But in India, I doubt, except for the new expressways that are opening up, there are a lot of points and fill up the banks to be filled up. So
Right.
this really needs to be taken up. Infrastructure is a very important point. Another important point I would like to stretch upon are our drivers and staff. Many a times what happens is, earlier days, I am not again demeaning anyone or that, but then the class of drivers that we had is probably from the lower strata or probably uneducated class of people. Why? Because probably they didn't have any other work. So they migrated and they got in and started driving. Now today the expectation is really gone high. If you travel in a bus, a sleeper bus, the experience is totally different. We got washrooms in the bus, AC, blankets are changed, pillows are offered. So our staff also need to be equally upgraded into that. So many times what happens is the driver is still the same. He doesn't know anything. Or probably when you tell him कि बाबा ये करना है तुमको, so he takes things for granted. बाबा ये मेरी काम नहीं है. So we need to like I remember Gadkari ji telling us once कि we'll be having a bus with like same like an aircraft with an aerospace. So bus hostess will be there in a bus serving you juice, drinks and all. So that is the vision of the minister. So for that we need to upgrade our staff. We need to train them. And for that we require some kind of support for the government. See, the private operators, we are all scattered. See, the basic problem with our industry is we are not organized yet. We need to get organized. Boki, of course, is a very good right forum, bringing in all the operators together. Boki started 10 years back and it's doing exceedingly well. You might have seen the response yesterday in the hall also. So that's a very good platform, but then we need to really catch up with the things, with the times it's moving. We need to train our staff to give the right kind of experience for the passengers. Apart from that, yes, as I said, technology and other things, of course, the aggregators are doing an excellent job because years back, it was all ticket sales was by the counters. Today, you find that you are resting at your, uh, probably in your living room and you're booking tickets and all. Okay, so these things are really improving. But then along with that phase, we need to upgrade ourselves. Manufacturers need to give us the right kind of a service, right kind of a technology, good vehicles, so that we don't have frequent breakdowns. Our passengers don't complain about the vehicles. Passengers have as well free journey.
Right.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank you.
Safe to say we have a warmed up panel now. Now let's dive a little deeper, stakeholder wise. I'd like to start with Mr. Rakesh Kumar. Uh, we know the back-end work and the fructification of your new generation products that have been displayed over here. At the back end, when you look at an evolving product portfolio, what according to you is the core motivating factor for you to think of something as simple as a design of a bus or the evolution of a product to meet a customer requirement? Is it driven by technology? Is it driven by customer expectation? Or is it purely a factor of regulation driving that change? Your opinions on that?
Yeah, thanks, Ashish. Very pertinent question. So, you asked what is the most motivating factor, what is the most important factor for us? We have a, we are working in an industry which is quite different from other in the commercial vehicle because we deal in this industry which have complete human angle end to end. And the most motivating factor for us or the fulcrum for us are the customer. The customer, when I'm talking customer, it's customer and the operator. And operator along with passenger. So these are the two most important thing for us, which on which we work. We and currently, if you see, even in the electric vehicle, we have the industry is at around 4% EV in the buses. So we have already made a complete range of EV buses for all application, so that we expect this EV industry to go to the level of 25% with the support of government initiative like FLAME, PLI, PME. With and apart from that, when we are working towards giving the experience, which is the most important thing going forward, then we look at what excites our operator, what excites the passenger. And here the comparison is at the highest level. We are not benchmarking at a bus level, we are benchmarking at a aviation industry level. So this become the core for us that yes, our operator need a good TCO, that is total cost of ownership vehicle, with high standard of safety. Passenger need a very comfortable vehicle, connected vehicle, so that they can travel with a very strong peace of mind, and our operator can also have a peace of mind. So these are the important factors which drive us to work towards our operator and passengers.
Right. My next question is to Mr. Gill. You've been dealing and you've seen the entire customer evolution journey. Today, a customer, I was hearing Mr. Prasanna also saying that there was a time when getting a seat in the bus was a priority. Today, there are the priorities and expectations have multifolded. So from your perspective, when you look at a customer life cycle journey, they are asking you for uptime, they are asking you for prognosis. There are many demands put on you as an OEM. How do you handle these customer expectations? What is the biggest change in your approach when you meet a customer?
Yeah, you're right that customer expectations on the way buses are. Customer means I classify customers into two ways. One is like the transporters and the operators who would operate them, who actually buy those buses. They also have expectations. And secondly, the main important thing in this entire bus industry is the passenger. So both the expectations of both of them have changed and evolved, maybe driven by the passenger expectations. So as VCV, as Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles, we ourselves, we have a vision to drive modernization in the Indian CV industry. As part of that process itself, we are always supportive and also take proactive actions when it comes to driving those initiatives which would modernize or make the passenger life better. And as I mentioned before, make it more safer, make it more comfortable, and make it more convenient. Now, this convenience portion has been an expectation of the passengers. Easy to book, which the aggregators are doing, a lot of apps are doing, a lot of transporters are doing, but make it more convenient from many other perspectives. For example, can the transporter, can the operator get to know the health of the bus through an app, which the OEM can provide? Can we make it more convenient that if it's an intercity bus, have night service, or at least on the highways or wherever the routes are there? Can we have a Sunday service for the school buses? Can we have a Sunday or an on-site service for staff buses? So these are the kind of initiatives which we have tried to take in a very simple, basic way. Secondly, we are also associated with the Volvo Group, which is a benchmark in all these three areas, incidentally. The number one global benchmark on safety. So we have the advantage of learning from the Volvo bus experience globally. Plus, in India itself, the Volvo buses have made a good, great benchmark in intercity also, and which has been recently shown. So, being the transporters' expectations are also to improve productivity. The cost is going up with the new norms coming up. AIS 153. There are many other safety-related norms. ADAS and DSMS will also become mandatory very soon, in a couple of months from now. So, putting all that, unless the bus becomes more productive, how many kilometers per day can my bus run? So this is the second area when it comes to meeting the expectations of the transporters as a customer. So these are the things that we are trying to do using technology to make better, safer, comfortable buses which are more compliant with the new norms, and making it profitable for the transporter to run, making it convenient for the passengers to experience.
Right. While we know the painstaking work that your OEMs put behind the scenes and addressing each and every aspect, it's perhaps an opportune time to look at Mr. Anthony. He touched upon some very important aspects. What, according to you, Mr. Anthony, would perhaps be a complete miss in today's day and age? Perhaps something that has been overlooked by both policymakers and the manufacturers themselves. Is there something that you want them to address? They are across the table and you can ask for a solution.
Yeah, so first and foremost, our request will be to all the OEMs and the manufacturers, give us a better technology, a technology that is maintenance free. I'm not saying absolutely zero, but then to the minuscule. Like many a times what happens is due to, as I said, due to the shift from Euro 4 to Euro 6, the revolution was very fast within a span of 2-3 years. Euro 6 involves a lot of telematics, electronics, a lot of sensors. And what happens is, especially with Indian road conditions, which is very dusty and all, so many times there's malfunction with the sensors and many other things. And it might be one of the reasons why the buses break down. Now the reason might be small, but then what happens is we have to depend upon the manufacturers for the assistance. So our request will be like, if you see the car segment for that matter, a car, the technology shift also is the same, but then you see the car segment is really doing well. You won't face such kind of problems with your passenger cars. They are also Euro 6, they are also driving on the same routes. But then I don't understand why when it comes to commercial vehicles, the frequency of breakdowns is very fast and more. So this one aspect we need to really address it seriously. Because of this, the passenger experience in bus travel has really gone down. Because what they think is, ये गाड़ी जाएगी कि नहीं, ये पहुंचेगी कि नहीं. We assure them all big things, all rosy pictures. बाबा इसमें AC है, sleeper है, berth है, all plush seats and everything. But then when it comes to reliability of that vehicle, it's again a doubt. So this needs to be addressed by the manufacturers if we have to keep up with the phase. Because definitely the roads are increasing. We are putting in more and more buses. The aggregators are demanding more and more buses from us. They introduce more new routes. But then for all to cater all this, the operator also should have confidence in the vehicle. This is first and foremost. Secondly, as I agree again mentioned, drivers, because today, as on today, there is an absolutely shortfall of workforce, and that is pan India. It's not only to a specific state. You go to any state or any operator, you ask them, every operator will tell you this one thing: कि we are falling short of staff to drive our buses, and that is not only the passenger segment, that's also with goods segment also. So my request will be to the government, the authorities, and also to OEMs also. Like, why don't you open some training institutes and train up some drivers, catch some fresh talents from the rural areas, bring them up. Because as on today, as a operator, I won't be able to tap the entire country. But in US and OEM, you have got your resources. You can have got a good connect with the government. Please try to open up something like ITIs. There are for technical institutes, some driving training workshops, and give them good training. It's not only about driving a bus, but then giving the passenger a good experience. So all this needs to be taught to them. So these are two very important aspects that needs to be tapped.
Right, noted. Mr. Agarwal, a question to you from Sun Mobility's perspective. You are very focused on HEVs. You are, in the right at the inflection point of perhaps scaling up battery swapping infra tremendously. Tell us about how do you balance the line between one scaling up and then, of course, doing it in a commercially sustainable manner. And what, according to you, is that definite mix of energy pathway that the commercial vehicle ecosystem will be in the public transport ecosystem will be in a sweet spot adopting to?
So Sun Mobility was incorporated 10 years back,
Yes.
and we started with two-wheelers and three-wheelers in terms of deployment. Today, our two-wheelers and three-wheelers we are doing more than 2 lakh swaps per day. It's almost 7 million swaps. Our vehicles have run more than 2 billion kilometers, right? And we have very dense network of 650 stations in Delhi, 450 stations in Bangalore. And now we are ramping up Hyderabad very quickly. Wherever our swap network is reached a critical, penetration, number of vehicles sold without battery, in all the 3 cities, we are number one. If you put all the OEMs together in that city with fixed battery, compared to the vehicles sold without battery, Sun Mobility, acquisition is higher than all of them put together. So that's the potential of swapping. And that's what now, same platform, same concept, we are replicating for commercial vehicles. Now, the only thing difference is that two-wheeler, three-wheeler battery, you can swap manually. And hence we have brought a robotic station, because batteries in case of buses and trucks are heavy. And I'm very excited to share with the audience here that yesterday we unveiled our first staff bus on swapping with Tata Motors Star Bus platform, 9 and 12 meter. Now, Prime Minister's office presentation was made on certain issues. They said that you are focused on 1% market, which is STU for last 10 years. What are you doing about rest of the private market? So the focus is shifting at the right place. So I'm very happy that now we have a solution for 40% of the bus market. right? So staff bus has become viable without subsidy, and the operators have to buy bus without battery. We provide batteries on per kilometer, per kilowatt hour basis. The first deployment is going to happen in Gujarat itself with Tata Motors Sanand plant employee movement. So we are deploying 57 buses as we move forward. So that's the confidence Tata Motors has shown. And they tried total cost of ownership on multiple ways to make it green. Because there is a mandate from Tata Sons, at least within Tata group, the employee movement should happen through green transport. So all the studies were done for last 2 3 years, and finally swapping became the most viable solution. And without subsidy, we are offering significant discount over diesel cost. So that's where the market is now going to grow, because if you buy a bus without battery, the cost of the bus is very similar to diesel. So, and the financing of 4 year, 5 year works. And then we take care of the fuel side on pay-as-you-go basis, which is where we are giving the discount more better than diesel.
Right.
Which is the whole TCO. We make it very simple. That all the hassle of battery replacement is us. If you want to sell the bus, it is easier to value because there is no battery degradation and valuation issue around it is involved. Batteries is ours. When
Right.
those batteries are exhausted, we will replace them at our cost, right? So a lot of these challenges which were there in terms of high entry cost, lower utilization, infrastructure, I think swapping has been able to address all of them. And we continue to believe that with the financing scheme, which is underway with Government of India, Ministry of Heavy Industries, the interest subvention scheme of about 5 6%, and the risk guarantee, credit enhancement guarantees to the bus operators will make the off-taker also risk, much lower,
Right.
because the government is absorbing the technology risk. So I
Right.
think all these variables coming together, and swapping is now becoming real.
Right.
I think market is the
Right.
adoption will
No.
be much faster.
Right, right. I would love to hear more from you. I have the hooter ringing in my ear, so I have to bring this chat to a conclusion. Before I do that, just final comments from the digital mobility enablers with us. We have Abhibus and Red Bus. You all are sitting on a data gold mine. First to Mr. Manoj Agarwala, what is the change in customer behavior from your data mine that you gauge? And before I come to Rahul, so.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, we have access to a lot of data. We have a few million passengers who come every day on our platform, and more than 100,000, they actually give us ratings and reviews. So 3 points I would like to make here. One, on the comfort part, I think it's a given. I don't think there is any debate around whether we should give a comfortable journey or a comfortable experience. But I think it is also ROI positive. So we see that services that deliver better comfort and services which have better ratings do command a significant premium. It can be as high as 40% to 50% over the average price for a particular route. So it's not just about providing comfort, it's also about running a business profitably. Also, one aspect of comfort is, look, customers want value and they pay for value, but this value is not uniform. So if I'm going alone, I may have a different value perception. If I'm going for a 3 hour journey, I may have a different value perception. So it's very important for operators to understand what value they are trying to achieve. Now, if you start giving a premium service on a 2 hour route, that may not work. So it's very important to understand customer needs and then match the comfort or the experience as per those needs, because you have to be profitable also. You can't just give a comfort and
Right.
not be profitable.
Right.
The second part is on the aspect of safety, and I'm keeping it away from comfort because safety is paramount. We don't have an option. Now there are two aspects of safety. One is the asset safety, and the other is the passenger safety from, let's say, fellow passengers or any other eventuality. We all focus on asset only, but I think there is a very important aspect of training the staff. What is the protocol? If an event happens, what do you do? How do you tackle if in case there is a fire? What has to be done? So we all travel by air. There are a lot of SOPs that are being followed. I think the industry needs, along with asset, a very strong protocol and very strong staff training on the aspect of
Right,
safety.
right. Noted. Rahul, you yourself have a huge data mine on
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. You yourself are sitting on a huge data mine. From you, a very quick, brief answer on how you're using that data mine to, at the end of the day, improve asset utilization and at the end of it, improve passenger journeys.
Yeah, thanks again. So I think being a technology platform, for us, it becomes relatively easier to mine data. Uh, Whenever we sit back and look at the passenger safety and security, if this were a stool and had four legs in bus segment, all four legs are either broken or fractured. So we always go back to the whiteboard and look at these four legs. How do we fix them? It all starts with predictability. You also mentioned, Prasanna sir yesterday mentioned that there are 7 crore passenger cars in India, right? We are a 1.4 billion population. What if it becomes double? This 15 crore cars on the road, we can't manage. We can't handle. Our infra is not ready for next 50 years. So at Abhibus, we look at predictability very seriously. We start with predicting the bus itself, right? Especially after the recent Air India crash and the unfortunate bus tragedy last year, October, a lot of passengers want to know their bus. So the KYB has become as important as KYC, right? So for us, KYB is very important. So we launched something called Bus Insights, where before you even book the ticket, before you even pay, you get to know the bus. You can get to know the number plate. You can walk inside the bus virtually through our Bus Insights 360, where we created a state of the art technology. We installed those cameras and captured the bus in and out. The first level of predictability is covered. You know where is the exit door, whether this bus has hammer or not. So you are far more relaxed and confident before even booking the bus ticket. The second one that comes with the tracking of bus itself, right? And I think credit goes to OEMs as well as the OTAs. In last 5 years, we have worked very aggressively to making sure that the installation of tracking devices are there, and we are near 100% right now. It's a commendable turnaround in last 5 years that near 100% buses are equipped with tracking devices. So while pre-COVID customer was used to of looking at a Uber and tracking it, but for buses it was almost absent. But fast forward today, every bus is equipped. You can track your bus. So kills the second predictability of waiting the bus at the bus terminal for hours. Then comes something that we can create at our proprietary product called Assured, that gives you the entire peace of mind. Anything that can go wrong in the bus journey, you can travel for free. You can get your refund instantaneously in your bank account. So that also gives him the peace of mind. If my AC is not working, my charging socket is not good, or I get a bad experience in the bus, we get that Western standard high expectation, promise high, and let the customer travel for free if he's not happy with the journey. So I think if we using technology and data, if we are able to solve this entire predictability conundrum, I think the passengers will move from the personal vehicles to bus more and more.
Right. Point taken. I'm afraid we'll have to do a hard stop, but in a very seamless manner so that it doesn't jerk the passengers. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for giving your time. I hope that this conversation leads to some measure of improvement in public transportation, specifically when we gather back in Pravas 6.0. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashish ji, for excellently moderating the session. Before we leave the dignitaries, we would like to felicitate them with mementos. I would request Shri Lalit Sukwani to kindly felicitate Shri Rakesh Kumar. Shri Rakesh Kumar ji, please come forward, sir. Mr. Rakesh Kumar, request you to please come forward. Rakesh Kumar ji, kindly come forward. Yeah, Lalit Sukwani ji, please go. Thank you very much, Rakesh Kumar ji, from the Senior GM Passenger Sales and Marketing Passenger Business, Tata Motor Vehicles. Thank you very much. I would request Mr. Kiran Desai to please come forward and give the memento to Shri Rohit Sharma, CEO of Abhibus. Rohit ji, please come forward. Thank you very much. I would request Mr. Parag Patel to please come and give a memento to Shri Manoj Agarwala, Chief Business Officer of Redbus. Manoj ji, kindly come forward. Thank you very much. I would request Mr. Bhavesh Khabra to please come and give a memento to Sri Ashok K. Agarwal, CEO, HEV Sun Mobility. Thank you, Ashok ji. I would request Madam Anita Latambe to please come over and give a memento to Sri S.S. Gill, Chief Commercial Officer, VE Commercial Vehicles Limited, VECV. Thank you very much, Sri Gill. I would request Madam Sartaj Lamba to please come over and give memento to Sri Noble Anthony, proprietor of Anthony and Sons Comfy Bus, VP School Bus Operation, Mumbai Bus Malak Sanghatana. Noble Anthony, thank you very much, sir. Bahut dhanyavad. And finally, I would request Mr. Dinesh Chandra Joshi to please come and give a memento to our dynamic editor, Commercial Vehicle Magazine and Auto Component, Ashish Bhatia ji, for excellently moderating the session. Thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of Desh Ki Raftaar, powering India's public transport transformation. The next session will start in the next couple of minutes. We would like to thank the dignitaries once again. Thank you very much.